Good morning and welcome to Behind the Screen. I am JM, and this is a show where we hang out. We talk about games. We talk about role playing games, board games, card games, things that inspire us, things that bring joy and beauty to our life. And today's show is about this book here, Redacted Records for Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory by Cubicle 7. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the next 4 episodes. We're going to look at several of the remaining books that are out currently for Wrath and Glory, and then I'm going to kind of talk about how I would set up a Wrath and Glory campaign. Because again, there's a lot to cover in the world of Warhammer 40,000. It's a very, very detailed and expansive universe. And so I figured I'd start with Redacted Records because in some cases, in some ways, it's my most favorite of the Wrath and Glory books, and also I think possibly the least useful compared to things like the Forsaken System Player's Guide, which gives you all of the details of the planets in the world, or Church of Steel, which has all of the vehicle rules, or Litanies of the Lost, which is this great adventure, or series of linked adventures. But first, let me say hello to Mark and Grum and John and Tink. Guys, it's always good to see you. Mark, it has been, first of all, happy belated birthday. And then secondly, man, I sit around this table and I think of how great a time we had at TPK this year. I can't wait till TPK next year. So, Redacted Records, it's got this great cover. And again, I love that Cubicle 7 does a great job with their little spot UV gloss. It's a good looking book. They also, I don't know how well this is going to come across, but they also use their inside end papers, which is always just delightful. Hey, Rook, good to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for your continued generosity as well as your man, that's incredible. You have gifted a total of 603 subs to the channel. Thank you. That's just amazing. And to everyone else who subscribes, thank you. It's I hope that I am being a good steward of all of the gifts and the generosity that you guys show to me and to this channel. So, if you're at all interested, I'm going to put in the chat is a link to, it's a massive link, sorry about that, is a link to a current Humble Bundle going on. This was brought to my attention by several people, but also by Tinker Hellraiser, who is, of course, our social media guru and helps keep me focused as we're doing iconic production things. This is a great deal. It is, if you pay at least $18, you will get 25 Warhammer RPG books. And we'll just kind of briefly run through this real quick. You can get, for Soulbound, you get the core book, the GM screen, Champions of Order, Steam and Steel, as well as the starter set, Crash and Burn, Trouble Brewing, and Fateful Night. For Warhammer Fantasy, you get the core rulebook, the GM screen, Rough Nights and Hard Days Adventure, Up in Arms, which is the book about the military, as well as giving you some new insights into how the rules could work a little differently. You have the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Starter Set, and then a couple of PDFs, buildings and one-shots of the Reichland. And then, more pertinent to today's discussion, you can get, it also comes with the Wrath and Glory Rulebook Starter Set, GM Screen, Redacted Records 1, the Forsaken Systems Player's Guide, as well as the starter set, the Null Hypothesis, and Gut Shiva's Commandos adventure. So, all that for $18, and it's going to support Children's Health of Ireland as the charity that is going out with this. So, what's in Redacted Records 1, and why should you get it when I just said it's probably the least useful out of all of them? Well, first of all, it has a ton of new frameworks. And if you guys remember, frameworks are the things that helps the GM guide the players and guide the game. Being able to say, hey, this is what the game is going to be about. So the frameworks they have in this book, I was going to do this all off the top of my head, but unfortunately my brain is quite mushy. They have new Adeptus Sororitas frameworks, such as the Sanctum Sentinels. You're tasked with the protection of a sacred place. everyone in the group, at least half of the agents have to have the Adepta Sororitas keyword. The others must have the Imperium and can't have scum. Scum as the keyword. I mean, you can have scum in your character. That's up to you. There's therefore the Telepathica frameworks and several others. So it gives you a new set of ways to run the game. So again, saying, hey everybody, we're going to play, you guys are going to play as the guards to this shrine. Half of you have to be Sisters of Battle, the other half have to be Imperium. Helps focus the group, helps focus their role play, their character creation, gives them a very clear reason of why they are together and what their activity is going to be. We're going to be defending the shrine from forces, Xenos and Chaos, and even those within the Imperium. It has a ton of new talents, which I'm not going to get into. They're really focused on like the Adaptus Sororitas. But, you know, you get things like Chainsaw Warrior as a new talent, which is just awesome. And then they give you some new cults for the Forsaken system. And essentially, they break up the cults by 2 planets. These are the cults of Avacris and Nethraeus. And what's interesting is not all of the cults are what I would say evil, at least on the surface. One of the ones I really like is the Epicurean Society, which seems decadent and has some strange phenomena around it, but is really focused on kind of pre-ruinous powers. So it's a way of setting up something in the game that either the heroes can stop from going down the route of chaos, or can kind of have this slow corruption playing out over the course of your campaign. Just picking the 2 things I was talking about, if you guys are playing as the Shrine Guardians, perhaps the Epicurean Society has members who take care of the shrine. Maybe the nobility of the area are the supporters of the shrine, or they visit the shrine. And so as the players interact with their core activity, as well as this cult in the background, story commences. Yes, Mark, I love bundles of holding. I have a ton of great RPG PDFs that I just get to enjoy, and one, you get a great deal, and 2, you're helping out a charity. And I like that bundle of holding allows you to customize your pledge, how much is going to each location. The other thing is it also has a gift certificate, I believe, to the Cubicle 7 store. So if you want to end up buying any of this material, yeah, if you do this, you also get a 15% off a Cubicle 7 store order. So if there's physical books that you want to pick up, you get them at a discount. Probably you'll pay for shipping and a little bit more, but so that covers, it's about a 90, what do we got here? A 92-page book. What we just talked about covers about 2/3 of the book. But where the book really shines for me is the Space Hulk generator system, which is the first third of the book. Now, for those of you who do not know, Space Hulk is a board game. I mean, it is a board game, but it is a phenomenon that happens in the world of Warhammer 40k, where ships which are lost in the warp, who have suffered some sort of calamity, who are running derelict, they sometimes reappear, and most often they seem to congregate together and fuse together. So most Space Hulks are multiple ships that have become fused or corrupted or tainted or bolted together by the orcs of 40k into these massive labyrinthine ships, usually, per the board game, infested with gene stealers. And if you look at the cover of the Redacted Records, in the lower right-hand corner, you will see a gene stealer off in the side. And so they give you a generator for coming up with Space Hulks that blip into the Gilead system. What's great about this is it gives you, hey, what factions may be involved? What was the origin of the ship? What treasures might be on the ship? Why would you be here? Is there any corruption? What's there some strange phenomena going on the ship? And in about 5 to 10 minutes, you have a complete new adventure site for your 40K game. Going back to our cult, the Epicurean cult and Adeptus Sororitas Shrine Guardian campaign seed. The other thing is each of the cults come with multiple adventure hooks, as do the frameworks, which is great. If you buy this book, you're going to get a ton of inspiration for your game. But perhaps some ancient part of the shrine activates because a Space Hulk blips in, and there's something on that Space Hulk that is calling to the shrine that the players have been tending and defending. Well, now they have to find a way to get off planet and out to the Space Hulk, and who knows what may be lurking there. So overall, again, I know I said that this is probably the least useful book. And by that I mean when compared with a giant system guide, or here are the way vehicles work in the system, or here's a ton of adventures, I can see GMs getting a lot of use out of those. But this is one of my favorite books because of that Space Hulk generator. They also give you a table for what events are going to happen. So once your players board the ship, you can roll and say, what are these interior events? What are exterior events? What are high tier events? So those that the players may not actually be able to grapple with at this point. Also, what loot can be found in there. And then they give you 4 Space Hulks to choose from if you just want to drop a Space Hulk in your story. Now, there's no maps, which is fine, because a Space Hulk is kind of too large to map. But I like the idea of these high-tier events, so when your players get there, they're there for a mission. There's something internal going on, something external, and something beyond them. I would almost want a Space Hulk as a comet, like a Halley's Comet kind of a thing, where every, 2 or 3 years, this thing blips back in for a couple of days and then disappears back into the warp. So the players get a taste. Maybe they can't complete their first mission and have to go back to the planet. Then they come back and complete the mission, but there's still that high-tier threat and event kind of hanging over their heads. And the third time they go in there, they can actually deal with it. I can see what's going on. Who has single-digit sleep? Is it Rook? My guess was Rook. Rook, best wishes to you, my friend. I hope everything is going well. Yeah, single-digit sleep would not work for me, especially right now. I get 2 naps a day, or 2 sleeps a day, which is not necessarily where I want to be, but kind of enjoyable. I get 2 mornings, 2 days essentially. They're shorter days, but it works. So that's Redacted Records. It's a short show. It's a short book, 90 pages. But they pack a lot into here. And again, one of the reasons I'm doing a lot of focus on Cubicle 7's books is because of how great they are, both content-wise, art-wise, production quality-wise. Every one of these books blows a lot of the American role-playing games kind of out of the water in terms of quality. The books are stitched. They are gorgeous throughout. Not talking about peg books, because peg books are awesome. But you know who I'm talking about. So the quality is great. And you get all of this for $35. It's a great deal. I'll put links in the show notes to where you can get this, buy it physically, or you can buy it on drive-thru, or you can just go to Humble Bundle and support a great charity and get a ton of PDFs for the same price as this book, including this book. So, yeah, John, it's only 90 pages. So, again, there's just so much in here. So let's do something. Let's make a quick Space Hulk. So let's have Rook start us off. Rook, give me a number between 11 and 66. I think this could be a kind of a fun attempt. We'll see how it works. Then Grom give me the same number, and then John give me the same number between 1 and 66. So Rook gave us a 47, so this is a Chaos Space Hulk. Well, that's awful. Chaos Space Hulks might be mistaken at a cursory glance for a sinister Imperial Hulk. Only when one approaches it does the mockery of Imperial design become apparent. Warped metal infected with hooked barbs and jagged sigils of forbidden gods. The original purpose of our Space Hulk from John is escape or hijack. The occupants wish to escape the Space Hulk. The only way off is the ship the agents arrive on. As soon as the inhabitants learn of newcomers, they immediately attempt to seize the vessel and use it to escape. And then Grom gave me a 13. This is a lost cult. It is populated by a lost cult who believe the Emperor is dead. Tink and Mark, if you guys want to give me a number between 1 and 66, we'll just pick a couple of rooms and see what else we have. So yes, you can roll up rooms, you can roll up hazards and features. Tink gave me a 19. A 19 gives us a vast hangar. This room is hundreds of meters in length, perhaps even thousands for a larger Space Hulk. There's nothing here, as all viable ships departed long ago and has an eerie, silent feel. This vessel is laden with careful traps by a gene stealer cult. So in addition to the lost cult of the Emperor, we have a gene stealer cult. As soon as explorers set foot on board the Hulk, it is a matter of time before the dormant Tyranid forces in the bowels of the Space Hulk awaken. And then let's finish this out. Rook, a number between 2 and 12. John, a number between 2 and 12. And Grom, a number between 2 and 12. Now I'm looking through the book. All right, so John gave me an 11. Our internal event is the Hornet's Nest. Breaching a former cargo hold will disturb a hibernating hive of Psyche-Nuenin. Angry 2-meter-long psychic wasps fill the air, ready to implant their eggs in the brains of any luckless psyker nearby and kill anything that gets in the way. So that's our internal event. Maybe when they breach the vast hangar, there is a hive of these. That's what these things look like. They are terrifying. Rook gave me our external event as an 8. Impending impact. Approaching at an unsafe speed. An orc rock. ROK. It's an asteroid that the orcs have turned into a spaceship. Is heading straight for the Hulk, clearly intent on embedding itself in the hull. The impact may well be enough to kill anything in the compartment at the time, and the orcs will clear up what's left. And for our higher tier event, Grom gave us a gateway to nightmares. An archway in the depths of the Hulk glimmers with eldritch green light. On one side, massed ranks of metallic skeletal warriors stand in perfect rank and file. One by one, their eyes glow a sickly green, and they step forward in menacing unison. So we won't roll up for loot. Well, let's, Tink, give me a number between 1 and 6. So, we have on the Space Hulk a lost cult that believes the Emperor is dead and has fallen to chaos. We have an impending orc rock coming to the Space Hulk. We have psychic wasps that are intent on implanting their larvae in the brains of psychers. We have a portal to Necrons on the ship. And with Tink, our loot that the players can bring back is demonic residue. This shimmering oily residue is repulsive with a sweet, cloying aroma. To breathe the air around it invites nausea, troubling whispers at the back of one's mind, and it begs you to touch it. If you touch the demonic residue, you immediately must make a mutation test. Alright, so we just rolled up in 6 minutes an entire adventure site for our Wrath and Glory game. We just need a good name for this Chaos Hulk. So I'll take we'll take this up. Maybe we'll even write it up on the chat or in the Iconic Production Discord channel. But yeah, that's what's useful about this book. Now, for me, I would want 5 or 6 of these Space Hulks kind of blipping in and out over the course of a campaign. And it's a third of the book, but by God, rolling up Space Hulks is just so much fun. So we have Chaos and Gene Stealers, the SS Screwed. I like it. An Orc Attack, Demons, and possibly Necrons. You could run an entire campaign just set on a ship like that. I think of Blackstone Fortress, the board game. My son and I love playing it, and it's all on one Space Hulk. So again, while this may not be, again, the most eminently useful resource for GMs, it's still an amazing resource for Wrath and Glory GMs, and I highly recommend checking this out. Again, go check out the Humble Bundle for $18. For half the price of this book, you get something like 23 books. It's sort of a no-brainer. So tonight I will be on Savage Universe at 8:30 Eastern. It's a little bit later than we normally go live, because at 7 Eastern is when Chris Landauer and the people at PEG are going to be showing off the final hour of the Night Train Kickstarter. And I have it on good authority that they may also be showing off pictures from Gamehole Con, including one of our very own John Doom playing Doomguard. So tune in tonight. And then at 8:30 Eastern, I'll be interviewing the Knights of the Smith Dinner Table. They just wrapped up a Savage Pathfinder game where they converted the Reign of Winter adventure path to Savage Worlds. Then they ran a Night Train one-shot on Halloween, and they have something new coming up that they're going to be talking about tonight on the show. So, until next time, everyone, thanks for showing up in chat. Grom and Tink and Rook and Mark. John Grom, Rom, John, no, there's no John Rom. John, Grom, Tink, Mark, and Rook. Thank you guys all for joining me. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. I am JM. This has been Behind the Screen. I hope you all have a good one.